Hello! Hi, Batkiller. Hi, Anders. Welcome, welcome. Due to the strangeness of Twitch alerts and so on, it's quite unusual to have people in the channel I actually start these days. I used to have 15-minute timers. Batkiller will tell you about that. They just sit there counting down for 15 minutes because I press play, try and use that to make sure that I actually sat down rather than faff too long, like I just did right now. Now, yeah, I'd still be late. It is true. It is all true. So, where we're at, come in this church, and the weird crab dude, or of a spider wood dude, up there. Oh, did you now? I was oddly not in front of my computer for a good chunk of today. I had various things I did. Including seeing the gorgeousest kitty in the whole world. How did you find it, BK? Are you? Oh, I think you can join Anders then, because it's my understanding that Anders has a small lead problem. Unless you've sorted that out. In Subnautica. Is this the first one you're playing? So, the objective of Subnautica is to survive. Yeah, so it's the first one. You're not on a mission. Well, at least not yet. You just crashed on a planet, and you're going to have to survive long enough to figure out a way off. That's the whole objective, so thus far. There's a lot more that goes on, obviously. There is actually a plot. But right now, if you focus on how do I provide my basic hierarchy of needs, you know, food, water, shelter, that sort of thing, that'll keep you going for a little while. Put that away. It has. Oh, has the ship already... Have you played for 6 days without visiting the ship? A bit of a spoiler. I think it's 6 days. Right, so there's the ship crashing, and then the ship properly explodes and sinks. So there's a secondary. You get a lot of warnings. Tell you what, if you stream it tomorrow, I'll watch and I can give you tips. Oh, Anders, you wouldn't. Okay. It hasn't sunk, so if the remains of the ship... That has streamed, been known to in the past. Would you say you stream, Pat?
Oh, hey, wait. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
So this guy's odd. Like, odd even for this game. Appears to be made of wood. And he appears to be a substance abuser. Who is in recovery via something called the Mother's Love. This church is a place, and the church itself has a silencing acoustic property. You've been here a long time. Do you know why the church was abandoned?
Police raid a while back.
He responds, voice suddenly flat.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The Mother's Love has done its job. That's what's so great about the Mother. It lets you forget about everything.
Okay. Some Ravers wants to turn this place into a nightclub.
The ones in the tent outside? Right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
Wait, do they have a reason to be scared of you? Yes, okay. Sorry, so just to drop away from the focus of the game for a second to the focus of Subnautica. Cool. So I did have that and I ended up Googling it. So is there a way of stopping the ship? I don't know that there is a way of stopping the ship exploding. But basically you have a timer. If you can get into the ship before it explodes, you'll get a lot of resources. If you don't, you won't. That's a mini spoiler really for the game. It's but you would find that out, I think, once it sinks. Which is quite early on. So once you've got protection, just go in there. You haven't got an objective to protect the planet yet, and the ship. I'll just say that the ship is not the worst thing that's happened to that planet. There are worse things. Ah, now, have you managed to build a sea moth yet? Which is the sit-in vehicle, not the Sea Glide, which is the one you hold. You can do it with either, but it's much easier with the moth. I would probably, if you're finding it frustrating finding the entrance, I would just Google it. I did. There's no shame in Googling like how the hell do I get in this ship. I've tried for 2 hours because I did that. Which obviously makes it okay. If I do something, obviously it's fine. Because I am the moral arbiter of gaming or something. It's a game that tries to hold your hand a bit, but not too much. You have to explore things yourself mostly. There is an incredibly detailed wiki out there that if you read it too much will spoil the game, so just be careful. It's definitely okay to drink tea with milk. I would say it's a very poor idea to smoke, and I keep on wanting to give up, and I never get around to it. And I was joking when I said I'm the true moral arbiter of all that is good in gaming, and okay, because that's obvious. Is that all cleared up? Good. Shall we get on to finding out what weird? So this is not a spoiler for this game, but something that comes up on the loading screens, and if you don't read loading screen tips, you'll miss it. Anything that starts with wait, so hold on, is automatically just getting you more information. It won't advance the conversation or anything. So you should always choose those options. So wait, do they have a reason to be scared?
Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore. Anyway.
Okay. So what do you think about the nightclub, that is?
Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Ooh. Know where the other speaker is? Point at the strange machines around you.
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
The Aita is Grandma?
Wait, so there is some other person. So there is another person living in the church, and it's a grandma?
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
And you don't know where she is.
That's what I said, Holmes.
How can you not know that when you both live here?
Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
I haven't done a votey thing yet. This is pretty straightforward dialogue. We'll get there. So you've got nothing else to tell me? How she looks, what she does, who she is she?
I'm afraid not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or
he shrugs.
Or search through her radio computer.
Okay then. Thanks. Oh. Yeah, there's a little thing on the oh, some sneakers. Ah, extra empathy brogues. That'll do. Let's get those boots on. Can always do with a bit more empathy. I have 3 skill points. We should probably internalize the thought. Should probably level some stuff up. Bit of volition. Gonna do that. Right, let's have a look at the radio computer.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
Seems cautious around the machine.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Yes, but this machine looks just like the one in Doom commercial area.
It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
Specs machine's framework. Careful not.
A quaint little box of radio waves.
Wait, let me just investigate it. Step behind the
You
computer.
see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
His glasses are not diamond shaped, isn't it? Interesting. Look inside the compartment. Press play. Press print. There we do. Oops. And that can let you test your mobile. Hey,
The
press play.
speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Ron, it's me again. How are you? Sorry, I forgot to look inside the core to check what filament is inside. Fortress accident, like the one in the Doom commercial area. Thanks, but I'm finished with this call. You do. Yvonne, it's me again. How are you?
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Sorry, I forgot to look inside the core to check what filament is inside. Let's work through these then. Sorry, I forgot to look inside the core to check what filament is inside.
Please end the call and do that.
Fortress accident, like the one in the Doom commercial area?
I have two machines registered to this company name in Martinaise. One on Saint-Brune, the other on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine.
Saint-Brune. That's the church. And Rue de Saint-Ghislaine? That's the Doom commercial area.
Anything else I can help you with?
Thank you, but I'm finished with this call.
Goodbye, Fortress accident.
As her voice disappears into a well of static.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Look inside the compartment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater.
Press print.
Nothing happens.
Press play again. Shall we press play again? Vote. I'm going to put a cup of tea on. Let's do it.
The speaker comes to life. Static.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeat Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
I looked inside the core, but the tape on the filament just said log, Feb, March.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something.
Lieutenant nods towards Tiago. Password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint? Is it my birthday? This is the police. Please open this thing. I don't know the password. What shall we say? Split 3 ways, so 1 to 2 is 1, 2 to 3 is 3, sorry, 1 to 2 is 1, 3 and 4 is 3, 5 and 6 is 1! A password! I'm really bad at passwords, can you give me a hint?
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
This is the police, please open this thing.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that. Unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thanks, but I'm finished with this call.
Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard is...
Oh, hey, wait. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
Have you by any chance heard the theater say the password to a ready computer?
Too many times, essay. You need it for something.
Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety.
I'm doing a survey of passwords and passcodes, identifying regional trends in the interests of public safety, of course. Just tell me what's the password. Step closer. Yes, it's for a first-degree murder investigation in Martinaise. Honestly, I just want to break into a radio computer and see what's on it. I'm interested in what you think, so vote. But I'm keeping a veto on this one. That's what I thought. So brilliant. I'll do a survey of passwords and passcodes, identifying regional trends, interests of public safety.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity la niñita pequeña when I hear it.
Got you. Okay.
I think we're done here, essay.
I think it crawls off into the darkness above.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation.
Everything is relevant, Kim.
The machine's keyboard, the speaker.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident on Saint-Brune. Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife, death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thank you, but I'm finished with this call.
Goodbye, Fortress accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press print.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Read the
The
printout.
first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Do you think this log might be connected to the case?
Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
Read the second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See? Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. 7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced.
Why would she need an antenna?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
Except on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it. Read the fourth entry.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked.
This is a team from Fortress Accident.
I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
A data loss?
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately,
Oh, but
I
Kim,
don't
you know
enough
everything.
about them to understand what the author is saying.
Kim normally knows a little bit about everything. Which is, a little shame. What's a top tip for us, or a pithy comment that puts us in the right direction? Slightly disapproving, but ultimately helpful, Kim. Ooh. Right, I need a solution to a problem. I move on with anything. That solution involves some of the junk I have here. That looks like it might do the trick. There we go. New toy, but it's... yeah, that's what's going on.
Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Artists, programmers, Lexi, who are all these people?
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be her former co-workers.
Read the 5th entry.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinaise people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
Read the 6th entry.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Ooh.
Is she talking about?
The lieutenant looks right towards us. Read the 7th entry.
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
Well, what could it be? Look at the water basins behind you.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
Read the 8th entry.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out.
It's
The other
hardcore.
day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good. I don't want anyone distracting me from my work.
She must be describing a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
Read the 9th entry.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinaise. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinaise of her.
That's me. I was the one who wanted to break into that radio keeper. And the storekeeper must be Plaisance.
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with that machine.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping pong energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange one makes straight for the radio computer.
Suno the programmer. Well, she just ignores me.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you. She holds down the off button for several seconds. Machine reboot.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
We're here on a side case representing certain music venue organisers. We're not just breaking in. I'm pursuing a mysterious lead, searching for my lost identity. They're both ridiculous. Let's vote. The ones have it.
Well, you won't find any music venue organizers here.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back to life.
It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty.
The lungs of love.
This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
Kneel. Don't kneel. Leave me alone, woman. What shall we do? Vote. Those have it.
Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above, you feel her multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you, as if under a microscope.
Look up. No. No, I am not your bug. D50. 1 to 3 is 1. 4 to 6 is 3. Gonna look up.
The woman looks down at you standing there. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive.
Second.
You.
What is it? It's compassion. It's remorse. It's mourning. It's not possible to live. It's compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Do the same.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles, her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
Right. So what we will do is we'll do the high roll first. The higher of the two anyway. They're both pretty high. Would you give me a bit of intellect, please? 92, let's get it.
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
Wait, what exactly isn't in? I've heard of the system.
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
What? Tyrant?
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate innocent rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Is one in office now?
No, we are alone.
Okay, when did she rule?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
What else do I know about her?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Martinaise, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Suresnes, modern-day Sir Clay. Also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty. Draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
Where is this coming from?
The past. It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away. No, you must know.
Veto time. Okay, what else? Was she smart?
Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
How come?
It was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history. The DeLorean era.
Wow.
Wow indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Riel Belt.
Okay. What else do I know about her? I want... Okay, I've done that. I want more. There's something terrifying about her? I want more.
As did we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far away Supra-Mwindi, altogether 21 of the 40 Mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning.
A crowning?
In a city called Advesperaskit in Vesper Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied out plaza with the crowd far away. Already her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocence, were worried about an assassination attempt.
Must have been beautiful. Don't care how she looked. I don't care. It doesn't hurt me. Ooh. Right, I have a preference though. Must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen.
Then what?
One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
What?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocence. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
There's something terrifying about her.
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her.
You're right. Time to heed the warning. No, there was something bad about her. I want to know. Do we go down the rabbit hole? I can't really not go down a rabbit hole. No, there was something bad about her. I want to know.
You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Theriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
Well, that's just worrying. What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity.
That does seem a little bit worrying, doesn't it?
Suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacentic, mare interregnum. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her. This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
Kent's calm voice echoes in the corridor of the ship.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
He's somehow connected to the case. Glowing lungs, that's fucked up. Nothing, just looking around. She's common. Yell, war criminal. Somehow connected to the case. Growing lungs, that's fucked up. Nothing, just looking around. Oh, man. She's beautiful. She's not human. Yell, war criminal. Okay, well, have a lovely evening, Bacula. Take care. I don't know. She's somehow connected to the case.
She's been dead for 300 years. I am almost 1,000% certain she isn't connected to the case.
Makes the glass soft clean.
None of this is, in fact. This church, the coast, this isn't a good place to get lost in.
Alright, let's get some more intellect going. Do this roll. Roll it.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them both.
What shattered this mosaic?
Unknown.
Who is this older woman?
The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, 30 years, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
Motto, what does it say?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau.
After life, death. After death, it.
And then along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau. After life, death.
Wow.
After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the Insulindian, on human thinking. A tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death.
This used to say afterlife, death.
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however.
Why?
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing.
What's the RCM motto now?
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
Cool. Not very feminine. I like the other one better. I like this puts the fear of God back in the... Not very feminine.
Not at all.
Step back.
The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinaise, or the Small Pinewood Church in some records. It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds.
Else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
Well, she like...
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of Delorianism? There it is again. A small pang of guilt. It's time to ask him what happened here.
You know why it was abandoned?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces. The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here.
Who conducted this raid?
Well, your station was involved, I hear. Although I can't be sure.
How come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information?
Sure.
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I don't remember being here. I guess I could have been here.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying you were. It was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
I was here, I should find out what we're doing.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinaise now.
Yeah, you a follower of Delorianism?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are Delorian in origin.
Stroke your chin first. I didn't think you were spiritual. I don't like her. She looks like a lever. I didn't think you would.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The Delorian system does not demand faith, only accordance. Yes, we all are.
The woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional.
Alright. What's left? Yeah.
What is it?
Woman is still hunched over the keyboard, gently illuminated by the purring machine. I didn't break anything. Did I?
No, You just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
Does not look like a big loss to her. Hey, are you the lead programmer of We're All Untethered by any chance?
Yes. Or no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
Thinks to herself.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Turns back to the terminal.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager.
Have you seen the Crab Man?
Nope.
But you know he's around.
Yes.
Seen you. It sounds like you're not worried about him at all.
No. You're right. I'm not.
Her voice trails off as she bends over to Dean's printer. Why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR-1 as my RAIN Prefect's processing unit.
Wait, what?
RAIN Prefect. My radio computer.
That antenna is its processing unit?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
It's stopped working now. Not really. I know a little. Don't really know much about anything in this world, to be honest. Anyone want to choose something? Guess not. Not really. I don't really know much about anything in this world, to be honest.
All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Wait, what's on air?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
And the AR-1 is a good dinner?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinaise is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
What are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
What about those balls of water over there?
They are connected to my RAIN Prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Right, I'll try not to touch anything. Next question.
Right.
She dwells back into the glowing terminal. What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes. I'm a police officer. It's my job to ask questions. You're occupying a public space. I need to know what you're doing here. There have been complaints from your neighbours. It's my police officer. It's my job to ask questions.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
He says ready to stand her ground.
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
I'm looking for a location of a 2mm hole in the
Wait,
world.
what?
Okay.
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said.
Oh, right. Hi, Kyo. How are you doing? Are you covered in like ice packs? Like constantly drinking iced tea? Oh, I'm sorry. That's really tough.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is the hole connected to data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
Ah, that's great. Are you sticking it like the freezer, getting loads of ice to hand? Yeah, that's what I'd do. A hole in the world, what does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing.
Nothing. I know that this woman is meant to be a stereotype, but she does remind me intensely of someone I know. And how they talk. Someone who works, big gamer, but also is a medical statistician. Does lots of stuff on like research studies, huge big data things. Very kind of precise in the way that she talks.
What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She is suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
Hold on a moment. Does it mean we're now living in a world that now has holes in it? So this is a safe question to ask because of the hold on a moment.
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But how do I figure it out?
Measure it by collecting data on its surroundings, that which exists.
Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence. To find out where it begins.
Ha! Hydro transducers. So that's what those water basins are. Devices for recording sound through water.
But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
Do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
Looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch black heights above, but without much success.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark. Most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Yeah, we know what the strange thing is. Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church. A place where all audible vibrations seem to cease. I've named it the Swallow. And the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
This is where the Crabman lived.
I know.
You don't think the Crabman might be somehow responsible here?
No, I don't.
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning, her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
You said that the research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
That's all I wanted to know about a scary 2mm hole in the world now.
Great. Thanks.
How do you feel about anodic dance music?
What? I hate it.
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Have you even listened to it? Like, actually listened? What are you, 40? It's the future of dance music. Same here, it just doesn't connect here. Tap on your heart. Not like disco does anyway. Okay, wow, that was quick. Why do you hate it? Vote! Same here, it just doesn't connect. Here, tap on your heart. Not like disco does anyway.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right. But how do you feel about a club for anodic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
What do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
I heard they're also planning to build a drug lab. A youth centre would be nice. A petting zoo for a place for animals. Maybe some community space to help the elderly. I'm still convinced they want to establish a nightclub for anodic dance music. They said it's their dream. Looks like I might be cutting Disco short this evening and doing some shooty. Vermintide 2, more than likely I'll be streaming that as well. A surprise message from someone, so I'm going to jump on it. I heard they're also planning on building a drug lab.
Bingo! That's exactly what they're up to.
Ah, wonderful.
Lieutenant whispers, admiring the embellished pillars and the spectacular architecture of the
Now
church.
this house of worship is also going to be a drug lab. Always something fascinating happening in tents.
No. I'm not building the drug lab. The kids in the tent are. I'm just helping them. That's different, right? Look here. They're just encouraging an active youth culture here. Nothing wrong with that. Altering substances are vital parts of an anodic club scene. It helps bring the community together. Say nothing. What shall we say? Let's do it.
Yeah, what I said before. Not possible to appreciate that kind of music without being high as a kite. So that's settled. Great. No nightclubs in the church then.
Do we just fail that? Right, yeah, it's not over yet.
The swallow, you mean? What about it? Great. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to take a 5-minute breakish and be right back with Vermintide. Nice to have explored the church right now. And I'll probably be back on with Vermintide. Keep an eye out for alerts.